everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to CryptoManiacs podcast. We have to apologize for the only Blaine and I tonight temporarily. Task is having interweb problems. We've tried to connect multiple times, and he's walking on the beach. That's the last update because he doesn't have internet connection. So for the time being, Blaine and I are your co-hosts for the show until Task comes in. I love the setup. Blaine's actually in a hotel, and he's got 3 screens, which is terrifying to me. Like, how do you... Like, this is developers, man. You're in a hotel and you have 3 screens. You're in a hotel and you have 3 screens. You are just dedicated, man.
Yeah, I mean, I had one screen for the longest time for mobile on-the-go stuff, but because I have to travel a little bit, my wife thought it'd be a good idea to have 3 screens. And because we talked about it, we then got ads on Instagram and Facebook and all these other things on YouTube about multi-monitor setups for laptops.
Wow.
So we got the ads targeted. They worked.
So did you buy because of the targeted ads, or were you buying anyways?
So we weren't buying anyways, but the targeted ads planted the seed firmly, and then it sprouted. So
so technically, internet advertising worked on you, kind of.
Oh, it definitely works. It works on everybody.
Yeah, it works on everybody. Blaine, how are you doing, man? Welcome back to the show. I think this is your 10th appearance, or something like that. I got you your badge this week too, man. Nice. So I know you're gonna.
Late is better than not at all, I guess. I think this is my 3rd appearance on the show.
3rd appearance. So. And it's too bad Task isn't here because you know what he's gonna ask you. You know what he's gonna bug you about. So should we wait to get into that, or should we just dive in and then we'll tell him to go watch the replay?
I'm here as a guest. I'm here to talk about whatever y'all want. So, or just make Task watch the replay. That's fine too.
Well, here's interesting news, CTP related news, and we've fallen out of this, but it was interesting until my life got turned upside down, and I haven't been able to focus for the past couple of weeks. We hit the Click Track Profit Witness hit top 50 Witness. We're back down to 53 or something like that. But we hit 5-0, man. That's
heck yeah!
Congratulations.
We're slowly and continuously improving our position. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. It's pretty cool news, man. I mean, the chances of hitting top 20, I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. But 50 is good. 50 is good. We're still top 10 in Hive Engine Witness, though. So
yeah.
Any updates on the Witness side of things you wanted to share with people, kind of like get them excited to vote for us and yay team?
No major updates on the Witnesses. Just vote for us. We're doing as much as we can. We have 2 Witnesses on Hive Engine, 1 Witness on Hive. So yeah, go put out a vote for us. We're Click Track Profit on Hive and Hive Engine, and then the CTP Lite account, LITE, is our Lite Hive Engine node. So we also have a public API node for Hive Engine. So lots of reasons to vote for us. We're out there doing stuff consistently and daily.
Before we get into views, because I'm kind of stalling until Task gets back. Maybe some updates on Hive Pay, how we're doing with that. Because there's lots. This is what I've read a lot over the past year, beginning of the year here, past month. A lot of people are talking about, hey, it'd be really cool if there was some type of merchant service that we can accept Hive and stuff like that on Hive. And every time I read that, I just sit and I'm just like, oh, man, if only there was something like that out there. Maybe we should talk about it. Hive Pay, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, Hive Pay is a great service that has worked for the past 2-3 years. Without flaw, without issue. It's an easy way to accept payments in Hive and Hive Engine tokens and HBD, however you want. But again, we're just the little guys. We're not going to get much traction unless we yell from the top of our lungs. Even then, we're not going to get very much because, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, somebody tweeted out that they were going to create a payment processor on Hive, and then that got a bunch of attention. But we've had one for years now, and very little attention to be had for it. But HivePay works. It's doing great. It's in the middle of some updates, so it should be smoother and faster overall in the near future. So yeah, everything's under construction right now, getting updates. So
very good, very good. Yeah, it's fun because it's something that we said we should build because we wanted to stick it to the man, and like bad PayPal, evil PayPal. But what about the Stripe news gossip scandal? I heard little rumors, and I'm trying to play this up, right? Like I heard rumors, not like we don't talk in Discord. Little rumors about transitioning away from Stripe, or is there reasons for it, or what's your vision on getting out of the Stripe kind of
So
bubble?
Stripe is a great payment processor, same as PayPal. They're both great payment processors, but they're general payment processors. And when you get with general payment processors, you get higher fees. You get higher fees and more restrictions. Not that we have any reason for any of the restrictions. We don't care about those in particular because nothing that we're doing is illegal in any manner. But what we're doing is we're moving to basically a private payment processor. So much lower fees on our end, should be much faster service because it'll all be integrated into one. So it should be a lot easier to deal with overall. So that's kind of the goal, is to just simplify it for us and make it easier for everybody trying to make purchases within our sites. So
Can I ask for some technical expertise here for you?
sure.
You're popping when you're talking. It's like popping every.
I don't have a pop filter.
No, it's not. It's like popping in and out, not your voice. It's like there's
Oh,
something popping. I don't know if it's the headset or if it's the.
well, I don't know. I can look in my settings and see
We're
what
gonna
we
do
got
this
here.
live, guys. Welcome.
I got echo cancellation and noise suppression turned on.
Yeah, it's like a pop.
Is it better now?
Keep talking. I'll tell you.
What about
Now you're muted. No.
what about now?
Keep talking.
Is that better?
Let's hear it.
Is that better now?
Stream.
Is this good? Does this sound professional?
Very professional, actually.
Much better?
Nope. Now you popped again.
Oh, sad. I am on my phone because my computer does not have audio, and then when I plugged in the headphones, it didn't work. They have to be Bluetooth, and I did not bring my Bluetooth stuff.
Maybe try unplugging the headset on that. See if that works. If it changes it. Well, you gotta.
How is this?
Yeah. See.
Oh.
Keep talking.
Is this better now? Is this working much better now? How about this?
Keep talking.
I'm still talking and going and going and going and going and going. HivePay is really great because we made HivePay because we wanted a way to accept Hive and HBD and Hive Engine tokens, specifically CTP. We only created HivePay because we wanted everybody to be able to accept Hive payments. So that's why we made HivePay. Does this sound better now?
No, it's still popping. Yeah.
Oh, well, then I'll just turn off the speaker and go back to my headset.
Yeah. Yeah, keep talking.
For echo and noise suppression, we should be able to try this now. How's this sound? Is this a lot better?
No, it's popping. It's literally like there's a pop every time you're talking. And see, it doesn't bother me, but a lot of times people listen to these replays and they literally say, I could only listen for 5 minutes because of the sound and it sucked and you guys suck. So yeah.
Dear sir, you suck.
Dear sir, you suck. Yeah.
Well, next time you have me on, I will be at home and you won't have to deal with the popping.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, that was that was our fault. It's okay. We'll just talk. We'll just have some fun. If
We'll just
people
pretend that somebody in the next hotel room over is slamming their door every time I try to talk.
every
And that's what the
perfect,
popping is. So,
perfect. 2023, man. What's we've written about this, we've talked about this, but what's your vision for the next couple of months here in the CTP tribe to get people excited?
so the next couple of months, we are focused on four areas, really. One, John's magnum opus, which is views. Two, my magnum opus, which is CTP2. Three, Project X. And four is listeners. That's what our focus is on, is those four primary pieces. That's what we're going to go with.
And so let's dive into each of them.
Okay.
Views. How are things going? How's the framework the new framework going, and all of that fun stuff?
The new framework works great so far under testing. Everything has worked. I've had to implement a couple of fixes, I guess you would say, and then test them out for a week or two to make sure that they work properly as I continue to make updates on the script based on the old updates and the newer updates as well. So we're looking at hopefully being able to launch that sometime in the next couple weeks or so. But at the same time, I would like to create a proposal for views on the DHF to possibly get some HBD so we can pay a team of developers or new developers to build this thing. That's what I would like to do.
How do you mean pay them to develop it? Like to put it on the new framework? Or?
Yeah, put it on the new framework, get things going, keep making updates to it and all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, I'm just one person and we have 1,000 things that we're trying to do. So it'd be great if we could bring on more people to ease the workload for myself. I think that would be a good idea. But that depends on a DHF proposal and getting approved, which we're the little guys, so it's slim to nil.
Yeah, it's so funny because every time I think to myself, I want to create one, I get myself all excited. Like I'm gonna create one, I'm gonna write it up, and then I'm just like, who am I kidding? Like unless you get in with the guys that'll really like vote for it, and it's not like you can get like one or two whales. You have to get like basically the majority of them to vote for it.
Yeah.
And that's tough. It sucks because you'd like to use it, but you got to also be realistic where it's like, they have their preferences. But it's interesting to think of. I mean, I'd love to do that to help you out and get less workload for you, but whew, oh buddy. Tools that will actually help the blockchain.
Yeah. No, we're more focused on other things with the proposals. So.
Yeah. Anyways, your magnum opus, CTP2. Would you like to touch on that?
CTP2 has the majority of it done. It's just little bits here and there that need to be built out. And then we need things from all of us, from myself, John, and Eliana, to finish it up, to be able to get it going. So there's all pieces that we all need to have done and good to go so that we can get this thing set and gone.
Set and gone. I like it.
Yeah. Put out in the open, put out to the public. I don't want to say launch because I really don't like that word of launch, but when it's ready to be opened to the public.
Well, what about Project X? Because I know that this is something that's near and dear to everyone's heart in CTP. But what are we looking at timelines for this one?
Project X is nearly complete. There's very little pieces that need to be done with it. The biggest thing, one, is the new payment processor, and then two, integrating Hive Pay into it. So, but other than that, it's pretty much good to go. I just have to check on the Hive integrated pieces of it. Otherwise, it's about done from what I can remember. So I haven't Project X is like a sideline project that we work on maybe an hour out of the day. But it's pretty much it's right up there. I just got to build the sign up piece to it that I know of.
So, my family is screaming while I'm so just give me a sec. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. Project X is going to be, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the last thing. God, it's like, what was the last thing, man? I totally forgot.
Listeners.
What's that? Listeners.
Listeners.
Yes, listeners. Listeners. The little project that could. How's that going?
Yeah, it's still coming along. It's a rebuild of the entire front end of the site, the entire UI, user interface, and user experience. We're trying to streamline it and make it as easy as possible to talk to the Hive blockchain and talk back and forth, as well as send out mail, receive mail, and all these things. So we're trying to simplify the site overall. It's a bit complicated now. We're trying to simplify that and then make it easier for everybody to access, as well as get an account on Hive, because we do have a lot of Hive account requests coming through, listeners. So
yes,
continue that and keep on building it as best as we can, as well as updating the reputation formula and trying to make that as good as we possibly can. So
I always smile when I think of listeners because it's working like flawlessly. It provides like exactly what it's supposed to do. Really, really good traffic generation, really good engagement. But people were so attached to the price of it.
Yeah,
let's throw this out there, man. Do you think that we should have never put like a token on it?
No, I think it's great that we figured out a way to tokenize everyday things like mail, because it's only the future, right? So the more and more into the future we get, the further along tokenization comes, and not just Hive blockchain, but every other blockchain there is. And like somebody posted in the CTP Discord earlier today or yesterday how California is doing license plates on blockchain or something.
Yeah, right.
Not 100%, but the further we go along, the more things that are going to be put on blockchain or tokenized or anything like that, because it is irreversible information, which is absolutely amazing.
Right.
So the further along that we go, and myself and I know you in the past, we have always been right on the edge and cusp of new technology and taking things and trying to use them and run with them as early as possible. So early adopters at the source, at the core, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's good that we did that. The problem is when you get tokens, everybody 100% cares about the price, and that's all that they care about. So we put an initial price of 2 Hive per listener, and again, this was back when Hive was $2, right? So we were right at the start of the bear market, and we further got into that. So the price fell, and then somebody sold all of their listeners and took out our buy wall, and then everybody complained because nobody wants to buy it because everybody's earning it, and nobody wants to sell it at anything above 0.00001 Hive or whatever the current price is. But as we continue to develop it more and look at more ways to add more use cases, again with the new listeners, you'll be able to upgrade with listeners within the site itself. So we're adding continued use case to it, adding those tokens, the CTP token and the listener token. So I think it's going to be good. But again, we can't help the fact that everybody gets fixed on a price. There's nothing I can do about that.
But that's crypto as a whole, though. I mean, that's the take it away. And I mean, it's me and Tass talk about this all the time. You know, these talking heads on social media and stuff. They don't care about actual use case. All they care about is price. Like that's all. Everyone that tells you they're in crypto and they give you another reason, it's all bogus. They're lying to you. They want to see green candles. That's it. That's all they want to see. That's the only thing that matters to them. It's not the tech. It's not life-changing opportunities. It's not changing the world. It's price. I want everything to be green all the time. And if it's not, it's a rug pull. And blows my mind.
Yeah. So here's the way that I want to equate to it. If you go to work every single day, and whether you walk to work or drive to work or walk to your bedroom to go to work or to your office to go to work, it doesn't matter. There's a place along your route. And if along that route somebody gave you a penny every single day, you would be excited for that penny every single day for no reason. Like, this dude's here with this penny. I don't know why he's giving me a penny every single day, but it's awesome. And then the next day, he gives you nothing. All you're going to do is complain about it the rest of the day. Just, why didn't he give me my penny? I want my penny. It's a penny, first of all, and it was free. Why are you complaining?
Yeah, it's a good way. Well, it's this is, and this comes back to the Hive experience. I mean, you can literally, you don't even have to walk down the street and look for the free penny. You can go and like other people's stuff and you're getting your free pennies.
That's all it is. Liking, commenting. You don't even have to, I'm not even talking about posting, just likes and comments, creating a conversation. If you created a conversation with somebody in person every day and they gave you 5 cents, and then on day 24 they gave you a penny, you'd be like, what did I do wrong?
Well, other than the fact that if you were getting 5 cents every conversation you struck up, you'd probably want to strike up some more conversations.
Right.
Which doesn't seem to be the problem here.
Right. But we go into the bear market, and that 5 cents goes to 4 cents, goes to 2 cents, goes to 1 cent, goes to half a penny. And now everybody complains. It's still free money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
for basically creating value and striking conversations up. And yeah, this is, again, and it's funny because we're talking listeners, and I get it, and if there, hindsight is 20/20 always, but that was one of the big things. The big thing to me was it didn't matter. You could take listeners and you could put Bitcoin in there. People care about price. That's it. That's all they care about. And even the use case is laughable to me because there's so much use case. First of all, the use case for something like CTP token, and yes, shameless self-promotion, there's more use case for CTP token than the majority of projects on Hive, point blank, period. People don't care about use case. They say they do. All they care about is price. That's it. They don't care about use case. They don't care about anything. They care about the price of something. It's crypto, man, and it's utterly frustrating because that's kind of the thing that we're in around all the time, and it's just like, man, feel my pain, man. Feel my pain here, please.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it, but stay on board and continue to do what we're doing, because the people that complain about the price, and they're always going to be there. So there's nothing we can do to make them happy at all ever. So
yeah, I start trolling people on Twitter these days. There was some Canadian exchange was yapping about what token do you buy over and over and over again, and the only tag they used was Bitcoin, right? And I was like, I buy Hive and I power it up and I earn it because I can actually use this stuff. Heaven forbid we actually use this stuff that we're talking about on social media all the time. And yeah, it's frustrating as heck. Anyways, let's dive into some theory, man. Some theory about online businesses and why it's important for them to get involved in blockchain and crypto, and to go back to the kind of that question, not the question, but the comment that was brought up in the CTP Discord about the fact that like the DMVs are starting to like put things on the blockchain. This is something you and I talked about 5-6 years ago about why we said this is where this stuff is going. Don't know exactly how it's going to get there yet, but we know it's going there. Has your opinion changed on online entrepreneurship, blockchain, crypto, or you think we're still at the, like, where do you think we're at as online entrepreneurs with this stuff?
As a whole, like overall?
Yeah, instead of Gary V like pimping NFTs and stuff like that, like oh, let's get into NFTs because everyone else is, like, just as a whole, online entrepreneurship with blockchain.
I think as a whole, we're at a standstill or have moved like a half a step forward at best as a whole. Right? So, like, blockchains should be the number one payment methodology for anybody that has a business online. The problem with that, because it's twofold, is now you have to expect consumers to have blockchain, and consumers don't. As a whole, for the populace, they don't. So that's the problem. But the more and more we get into it as businesses, the more and more the customers will end up getting into it as a I forgot the word I was looking for. As a result of us getting into it.
Result. Scrabble word. It's good.
Well, it was going to be a different word, but I just couldn't think of what it was.
That's okay. Results.
I had to pull up my thesaurus in my mind.
Nice. Nice. Perfect. Brilliant stuff.
But as a whole, not very many businesses accept crypto. There are a few, and like we used to accept Bitcoin and Litecoin and all these things. The problem is nobody wants to pay in these currencies. Nobody wants to pay in their Bitcoin,
right?
Yeah.
Well, because they're saying, oh, Bitcoin's $23,000 right now. It's going to go to $23,000 every. I mean, it's going to go to $230,000. So I'm not going to get rid of it because it's going to 10x. And it's like, well, that's where things like HBD comes in and stable coins, because it's going to be pegged-ish around $1. Mute myself.
Yeah, I completely agree with the stable coins, especially now that Hive has recurrent payments. Now you can accept recurrent payments in a stable coin. Absolutely no reason to not get into it, not have your business allow these things as payment methods, because at the end of the day, a dollar is a dollar, whether it's in euro, whether it's in yen, whether it's in ruples, whether it's in Bitcoin or Litecoin or Hive, as stable coins especially. So
yeah, I love what the recurring. It's one of those sneaky little features that Hive has with the recurring Hive, but the recurring HBD. You can set that up and literally tap into the stable coin, and you know that if you're going to sell something for $1, it's generally going to be worth $1, because you know that it's a stable-ish coin. It's not necessarily pegged exactly, but I think that adds to the flexibility and kind of the attraction, to me at least. We don't lose our mind if it goes to 96 cents.
Well, the thing is, here and across the world, like we compare everything to the dollar, but nobody realizes that the dollar changes value consistently all the time. It may only be pennies left or right, but like here we have inflation, right? Inflation is the change of the price of the dollar, if people don't understand how that works. The dollar buys less, which means inflation is up, which means that you can buy less with your dollar. So the value of it changes. So stable coins, just like the dollar, the value changes all the time, just we don't pay attention to it because everything is compared to the dollar.
It's an interesting conversation because, being online entrepreneurs and guys that have been running online businesses for decades, there was this huge, and you remember this, but it wasn't like PayPal was not like widely accepted 20 years ago, at all. It took a long time before people typed in their credit card number into the mystery box and magical things happened behind the screen. This took a long time before, people don't even remember. I remember eGold, man. I remember eGold. I remember physically writing checks and mailing them to certain companies to get your digital download or whatever. PayPal was not widely accepted. So crypto is not widely accepted, but that's where this stuff is going. That's where, like you said, if you are building an online business and you are not looking at crypto, you're insane. It's just it's digital currency, it's digital assets, it's whatever you want to label it as. It is the way that people will transact in the future. And still to this day, online entrepreneurs are just going from fad to fad. They're going to NFTs. They're not looking at how can I, get into crypto? How can I start accepting it? Maybe they put a big Bitcoin button up, buy now with Bitcoin, but no one gets rid of Bitcoin. So, anyways, yeah, it's fascinating. But a lot of people don't remember that like back then, 20 years ago, PayPal was not like this widely used thing. You had to convince consumers that it was okay to do this. And I think the same is true with crypto.
Yeah, and in the middle of PayPal, or just before PayPal, I remember entering my bank account details and then waiting 5 to 7 days for the ACH transfer to go through
Yep.
to
Yep.
get my instant download. So
Yeah. Yeah. You had to get the number on your credit card statement, and they charged you like a penny, and you had to
yep, you had to
confirm.
verify that. Yep.
Yeah. Like, but people are like, oh, I'm not going to use crypto ever. Crypto's it's like, this is what we used to do. Online entrepreneurship. That's what it was back in the day. 20 years ago, it wasn't just put up a button and presto, you have. But this is what has been built with HivePay. I mean, obviously, shameless self promotion, but it doesn't take. It's literally a copy and paste code, and then you can just plug right in. And
Yep, simple HTML.
Yeah.
And it has an IPN instant payment notification capability, just like PayPal. So if you want payment notifications, you just put that URL in, and it sends it all. So
what would you say needs to happen for more of entrepreneurs to start accepting crypto as like dollars?
Well, it has to have. So we need people to use it. You need consumers to use it, right? So for consumers to use it, consumers need easy access to get it. And we can argue that they have easy access now. You just have to go through Coinbase and verify everything, and then go through Know Your Customer, and then you have to go through this. And step 17,000, people are like, I don't care about this that much. I don't care. People get angry when they have to hold a piece of paper in front of their face and take a selfie with today's date. Like it's absolutely asinine. Why don't we have Know Your Customer stuff for credit cards or debit cards? Because it's not necessary, because it's all tracked. And I get it, everything's all, and the thing about the blockchain is it's all tracked anyway, whether it's some random 7,000 letters and numbers or it's your username like on Hive, it's all tracked at the end of the day. So everything is immutable and irreversible on the blockchain.
Yeah. So you think it's just a like maybe an ease of use thing for people?
Yeah.
Or is it just
100%?
Yeah.
Ease of use.
Well, maybe that's it, because it's funny. Funny you mentioned this. I remember talking to my buddy about crypto like 5-6 years ago, and he was like, "Dude, this was his argument for never getting into crypto." He said, "If I screw up, the bank guarantees my money. Like there's deposit insurance on certain investments that banks do. With crypto, his argument was, well, if I screw up, it's gone." And I'm like, yeah, it's called personal responsibility. It's like we complain about the banks, we complain about everything that's out in the world. Meanwhile, here's crypto, which can literally solve all these problems, but there's personal responsibility attached. So it's like we don't want, I want to be able to screw up. Okay.
Right. Well, that's the world that we've created for ourselves, right? If you want privacy, you have to take responsibility. But people don't want to take responsibility. I mean, you can look at it now. Look at the way people drive. Nobody takes responsibility for that. And we don't have enough in here in America. We don't have enough cops to pull everybody over for every dumb thing that they do. So there's no responsibility. So we as a society have struggled with taking responsibility, which means we don't get privacy. So
yeah,
it's crazy. Which is why Google knows that I want to buy multi-monitors for my laptop.
And they know that you drink a lot of dew. What is it with dew, man? Why are you so? Let's talk Blaine situations now. Like, what is it with dew, man? What? Eliana too.
I have no idea what it is with dew. 20 years ago, I drank a Mountain Dew, and then just didn't stop. So I grew up on water and sweet tea. So I have no idea. Sugar water. Water and sweetened flavored sugar water.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Dude, did you I had this when I was growing up. Like, we would have like the little tiny packets of Kool-Aid, but they were never sweetened. So we'd end up like sometimes we didn't even have sugar. So we would just put the little packets into the water, and we'd have like this flavored water that was never sweet. It was the best. No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
No, Kool-Aid was a bit rich for our blood.
Tang.
So
You had Tang? Did you have
no,
Tang?
we didn't even have Tang.
Wow.
None of that name brands. If it was on a commercial, we didn't get it.
Yeah, it's the best, man. It's the best. Anyways, what else going on, man? What's going on? You're officially retired now, so you can see the beard is healthy.
I
You're
am
never shaving that, right?
not really retired. I'm just work from home at this point. I
Mm.
work for myself. We have our company, and I work for that company. So,
Mm.
and I got paid pennies on the hour. That's what I get
Yes.
paid. It's great.
It's great, man. It's great. That's what's so funny about being an entrepreneur. It's people like, oh, it's oh, I can't wait to be an entrepreneur. I can't. It's like, okay, well, let me tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna work 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours a week sometimes for the opportunity to make money. It's not a guarantee. Never a guarantee. It's the opportunity. And I think that's the fundamental difference between someone who is an entrepreneur and someone who just says they want to become one. Because it's going to, like, there's going to be days of you pounding code where it's like you're busting your butt and the return might be $1.
Yeah. So there's a trade-off that a lot of people don't understand. When you work for somebody, you work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, and you get paid vacation, you get all these perks and all this stuff. But you have to work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week for the next 45 years. Period.
Right. 40,
that's it.
40.
And that's from 20 to 65, which now the retirement age is going to like 87 because everybody's living too long and the government still needs their money. So 45 years, 20 to 65, 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, period. That's what you're trading. As an entrepreneur, you are going to start at 80 hours, 100 hours, 200 hours a week consistently. But after 5 years, after 10 years, now you're working maybe 80 hours or maybe 60 hours or 40 hours. And then it goes down to 20. And then at some point, you get to where you only have to work 10 hours a week.
Mm.
And you're still making the same amount of money as you were when you were doing 100 hours.
That was the 4-hour work week. Or the 4-day work week. It was one of those. I think Timothy Ferriss wrote it. I can't remember. It's one of these books back in the day that was really, really popular. But it was the 4-hour work week. Literally working 4 hours for the entire week and getting the exact same amount that you would if you were working 40 hours a week. And how do you scale that? I mean, a lot of that is, hype and hoopla. Like you said, it takes time. You can't just start and then all of a sudden. But the message is sound to me. I know there's no guarantees in this stuff. It's like there's no guarantees when we lost PayPal, but it all happened for a reason, and that's, I think, why blockchain is so attractive to certain online entrepreneurs. Not all, but certain, is that they actually see the 4-hour work week down the road. So, there you go.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, like each week you have, say, 100 tasks that need to be done, and you have 100 hours that you're going to do them all. But by the time week 2 or 3 rolls around, you're like, I need to automate one of these. So now you're down to 99 tasks and 100 hours. And each task takes an hour, so you have 1 free hour. So now you can start automating task number 2. And then you're able to automate that by week 6, 7, 8. Now you're down to 97, 96, 95, 94. And eventually, all the things that you need to do become less and less because you're able to automate everything. So you have more free time. And you're still making the same as the original.
Amen to that. Vision on Hive, man. What do you see with the blockchain in the next couple of years here? You bullish
Ease of
on
use is going to get better. Ease of joining is going to get better. More apps. There's going to be a ton more apps to come out. 1 million people. And that's the great thing about the free market, right? 7,000 people can do the same thing. But at the end of the day, only one is going to win. I mean, back in 2003, there was at least 85 different search engines. How many are there today?
Lycos. Remember that?
Yeah, Lycos, Ask Jeeves, Yahoo, AOL, all these things. But now everybody talks about Google. And I see it all the time. in like I'm in a developer Discord and somebody found a new search engine. And he's like, I don't know why I haven't been using this from the start. Well, because Google's there. That's why.
Right.
Well, that's why we call it Googling things.
Yeah, it's turned into its own verb. Well, that's
Yep.
like Kleenex. Kleenex is technically, this is branding 101.
It's a name brand.
Right? It's
Same
a
thing with
name brand.
Q-tips.
Yeah, Q-tips. It's cotton swabs, but it's
Yep.
pass me a Q-tip. It's
Velcro is the same as well.
Yeah.
They're hook and loop fasteners.
What is it? Loop fasteners?
Hook and loop fasteners.
Hook and loop fasteners. Velcro is just the brand name.
Velcro is the brand name. My battery is at 5%, so I gotta walk over here.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's an old branding thing, man. I learned years ago. 22 Immutable Laws of Branding by Al Ries. He talked about that. He spoke in this book about why it's so important to have your brand stick out. The epitome, he said, was to have it as a verb, like a Kleenex.
Yep.
You know, like that's, you know, or to Google something. He didn't talk Google. It was actually pre-Google with this. And that's how old this book was. It was like pre-Google. But it was fascinating to me because that's what they talked about. They talked about the power of a brand. And maybe that's the problem with Hive, too, is that we try to brand Hive. It's like the Swiss Army knife. It's the jack of all trades. I personally, you know, think that the apps need to brand themselves.
Yep.
And that's what's going to attract people. Telling people, you know, oh, it's on Hive. It's like, you know, what's the brand of Hive? I don't know.
Yeah, Hive is just a layer. That's all it is.
Ooh, speaking of layers, let's have your theory on content layers and how you think this blockchain could get around some of the massive issues that we have with certain types of content.
Well, you already know my answer. So here are the answers. Here are the official answers. 1, in the metadata, you can put whatever you want on each post. So that means any front end can go through every single post, which to my approximation for that type of system is about 4 terabytes worth of information and growing every single day. And then you go through every single post and you look at every single post's metadata, and we're talking millions of posts at this point, right? So go through and filter millions of posts for metadata for a specific thing inside the metadata, and then you can filter posts that way. The other option is to do Hive Application Framework, which, again, like I said, 4 terabytes of storage, download from block 0, and then categorize each post as you download them so that your front end can serve them. Or you define content type at the core level, and that way you can use any public API without having to have a 4 terabyte hard drive or disk space of posts, and you can easily filter content by its type.
So this would alleviate the problems that people have with, this is just a picture. This is not a 500-word post.
Yeah, 100%. Because you have, and nothing against them, but threads are all replies to a singular post, which is fine and dandy, except Google won't index any of those comments at all. They don't index comments on a post, period. So if you have this enlightened thing that you put in threads, Google will never care about it. So it can never end up on a search engine, which is why you see tweets on search engines, but not replies to tweets. Because they're all just comments to a post. And then you have things like debuzz, where people, one singular picture or something like that, a group of words, like a tweet, and then people complain about it on Hive. This isn't the Pulitzer Prize winning 17 paragraph things that we want on this blockchain. Well, if we're going to open it for the public, we have to be able to have every single content type that's out there, whether it's long form or short form. Long form, there's only 1 or 2 types, right? So visual or reading or words, and audio, or not audio, but video. And you can even count like podcasts as a 3rd type, so audio as well. And then you have short form content, which is your tweets, your Instagram reels, your Facebook reels, your YouTube reels,
Right.
your TikToks, all these things. So now we have 8 different types of content that serve 8 different types of people, because not everybody likes every single type of content, obviously. But to grow and see a larger audience of content consumers, we need to be able to filter content by its type and be able to show consumers the content that they want to see and only the content that they want to see.
Yeah. Well, it's also, to me, it's just like you said. I mean, there's different content, different strokes for different folks, and there's people that will love to read the Pulitzer Prize winning articles, but that's not the majority of people. Majority of people want the short form stuff, and the fact that short form content is penalized, it just does Hive a disservice, I think, as a whole. It needs to be embraced. Now, obviously, putting a picture of your cat up and saying, "My cat is funny. My cat eats food on Saturday." Like, I mean, yeah, okay. Like, but there's some people. Sorry, okay, wait.
So I was going to say, with that, there was a whole 5 years where there was nothing but stupid cat pictures on the internet.
Yeah.
There's a whole 5 years where we went through where everybody just wanted the cat pictures. So it's stupid to some, others love it.
Well, to me, it's also, there's some people, like there's people on that I follow on Hive that are just like, they take amazing photographs. Like, just the photography community on Hive is amazing. Someone takes that one shot, they've set it up, they've done the lighting, they've done the editing to it. There's a whole lot of work, but because it doesn't have 1,700 words, that's not considered quality content. It's like, it blows my mind why it should not. There's communities of people that find that one shot of the butterfly absolute art, but there's also people in the community that find the 1,400 word essay on the butterfly art. So it's all subjective to me, and like, I get that you don't want to have poop posts everywhere. You don't want to flood the blockchain with just, spew, but there's still a big market for quality content that might be short form, and we should embrace that. So that's my rant for the day.
We can't be number one without, because this is a content-based blockchain, right? So we can't be number one without content consumers. And we can't get content consumers until we cater to the consumer and what they take in for content.
Right.
And we're not
And that's
doing
also
that.
on an app level too. I mean, I think, see, this is why I think certain apps are really gonna position themselves for, I mean, let me be brutally honest with you. That's what Views is to me, is content consuming. Views is 100% content. Yes, it's content discovery, but you're consuming the content. Views was never made to be, oh, you're going to write your posts on Views. You can write your comments on Views, but you're not going to write your posts on Views. It was to consume it, to discover it. And I think that comes back to the apps. The apps have to make it a joy, like a not laborsome, not like pulling your teeth out trying to log on to these things. It should be seamless. It should be a joy to engage in the content, embrace it, consume it, and don't put all of these blocks up so where people will just like lose their mind and leave before they even consume anything. So, but yeah,
I mean, it's already hard enough to get an account and to maintain an account and have to understand what to do with all these keys and all these things.
Yeah.
The content should be the easiest part of this chain, and it's not. And it should 100% be.
There you go. Speaking of a little housekeeping too, before we get out of here, the like you said, we're working on listeners. We're always trying to improve listeners. One of the things that we do is we have hundreds and hundreds of accounts that we've already set up and signed up for people to join the blockchain. There's a this kind of goes back to what you just mentioned about, like, some of these things should be the easiest thing for the blockchain. There's lots of amazing projects out there, Leo Finance, 3Speak, that are bringing, that are ActiveFit, that are bringing people to the blockchain. I don't think the problem now is bringing people to the blockchain. I think it's keeping them on the blockchain. And we see it personally. Blaine, I, and Eliana, I refer hundreds of people. We set accounts up for people every week. We're setting accounts up for people through listeners, even through CTP as well. But that's not the problem with Hive. I think it's getting people here and keeping them here, which is the challenge. So that's my speech. Buy our stuff.
Buy our stuff. Thanks for having me on, Task and John.
Yeah,
it's been great talking to you both.
Task was a great host today. He didn't say a word. It was great.
It's the quietest he's ever been.
Well, Task usually is the one who's talking all the time, right? So he's probably like, okay, John, you can go yap now for an hour. So there you go. It's okay. Anyways, dude, thanks for rocking out. I know it's dinner time for you. So very important to have your due and your food. What's on the menu tonight, Blaine?
Whatever the restaurant downstairs has. I have no idea.
Perfect. There you go.
Probably burgers or pizza.
Burgers or pizza. Quality, tasty food. Toodles, guys.